we have one more award tonight, and it's a recent award that we began just last year. And I'd like to give you just a little bit of background on the award so that you can come to appreciate why this is important to us at the college and at Marquette University. This is the Janet M. Gottfreid Ignatian Person for Others Award in the form of a medal that we will give tonight. The idea for this started about 2 years ago when we knew that Mary Kolar, who is here tonight, announced that she would retire after her next birthday, which she did last year. And of course, Mary had been with the college for almost as long as Sandy and I have been with the college. So this was a kind of a momentous event that Mary would actually leave the college, and all of you who are faculty and staff know how much we depended on Mary. So as a team, our staff started discussing how could we recognize and honor Mary. And the college has done a great deal of work. I want you to know that we don't just push paper and fill out forms, but we do a lot of work together over all these many years around what it means to have Jesuit mission and values and vision around what we do here at Marquette. Really trying to grow into and grow out of the charism of St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, and really establishing this worldwide, global, and 450-year tradition around educating value-based citizens. So a lot of this was around some of these key Jesuit values, especially being a person for others. So we thought that a medal that recognized a person for being that kind of person for others, who lived out the true pillars of the Marquette mission of faith, excellence, leadership, and service, would be something really significant, and that we could do that and honor Mary. On February 22nd, 2013, Janet Gottfreid passed away after a 4-year battle with ovarian cancer. Janet had a 30-year-plus career at Marquette, beginning in university special events as a secretary, rising to its director, an assistant vice president in administration, associate vice president in advancement and public affairs, culminating as a project manager in the office of the university architect, where her management skills, leadership abilities, eye for details, and aesthetics brought her to the forefront of carrying out the Marquette University's master plan for the whole entire area of the university. Janet has had a tremendous impact on the Milwaukee community, serving on the State Fair Park Youth Foundation, the Wauwatosa Junior Women's League Board, the creation of the Sharon Lynn Wilson Center for the Performing Arts, and many other events and organizations here in Milwaukee. Most especially important to us is that Janet graduated from our college in 2004 with her bachelor's degree with honors with a double major in organization and leadership and professional communications. She was co-valedictorian for her class, was the class speaker that year, and was a constant ambassador for the college. Shortly after her passing, we thought this would be a moment to honor her and then to honor others who are persons for others. We are really honored tonight, too, to have her son Mark with us. This is special. So, as we honored Mary Kolar last year, we now are ready to grant the second award this year to our dear friend and mentor over many years, Dr. David R. Buckholt. So at this point, to give this award now, I would like Dave, please, to come up, Father Mike Class to assist, and Mary Kolar to come up as well. Mary, you will notice that Mary is wearing her medal. So if you can all sort of gather over here and figure it out what you're doing together, that would be good. So, without Dr. Buckholt, there would be no College of Professional Studies. It's as simple as that. In the early 1990s, Dave took the lead at Marquette University to really seriously explore, could Marquette University have a program that would be available and accessible, meaningful and relevant for adult learners. Not the 18 to 22-year-olds that live here on campus, but people like all of us who work, have families, live wherever we live, and do whatever we do, but need to come back to college and find their way back to Marquette University. Dave examined models around the country. He helped to engage focus groups in the city to really find out what should Marquette do with this in the early 90s. And he spearheaded the effort at the university to launch the first non-traditional undergraduate adult learning degree program that we affectionately called in those days the Saturday Degree Program, or the original Organization and Leadership Program. That was our first degree, based on all the focus groups. And Dave was ultimately responsible for hiring me, for good or bad. And that was 20 years ago on my birthday this past February. Dave then championed the effort to create the College of Professional Studies, which the Board of Trustees granted into existence in November of 1996. I'll never forget the many trips you and I made to the Academic Senate and to other deans, many, many deans ago, who we had to convince that this was an important and good thing. Ever since then, Dave has been a steady and loyal friend and supporter of the college. So Dave came to Marquette in 1974 and has served with distinction, honor, and excellence in the following roles. He was assistant, associate, and full professor of sociology and education. He was the chair of the Department of Social and Cultural Sciences. He was associate and then vice president for academic affairs. He was the first director of the Center for Teaching and Learning, which we referenced earlier. He was the director of the Trinity Fellows Program. He was the co-director of the Burke Scholars Program. He was certainly a research professor and now is professor emeritus. He has been a team chair for the Higher Learning Commission for their peer review corps of teams that go around and do accreditation visits to universities. This is a significant effort around the country. He proposed and implemented multiple university efforts around enrollment management, student retention, the Corps of Common Studies, the review for tenure-track faculty, online learning efforts, and the list goes on and on. This doesn't even include all the books, the articles, the research, the great scholarly work that he has accomplished in his life. It has been Dave's steady, planful, and innovative leadership. This is not easy when you work out of a traditional university. We are still swimming upstream. But Dave was willing to do that. It is Dave's vision and sense of what was best and is best for our students as our society and our higher education, the world of higher ed, has changed. It has been Dave's collegial and collaborative and supportive style of academic leadership that I think all of us who play leadership roles or try to in the university look up to and have learned from. It is Dave's insight, support, and commitment to what we call in the Jesuit tradition the magis, the more, the values of Jesuit education. And it certainly is Dave's unwavering support for our adult learning enterprise and for our College of Professional Studies. So I'd like to read the citation now that is going to be on this award, and then Mary will give you the medal, Dave. So the Janet M. Gottfreid Ignatian Person for Others Medal is presented to David R. Buckholt, who embodies the spirit of Magis, of St. Ignatius Loyola through his exceptional service to others in the College of Professional Studies, Marquette University, and this community. Through his role in the creation of and support for the College of Professional Studies, he advanced the university's goal to transform the world by transforming the lives of adult learners. He lives the university pillars of faith, excellence, leadership, and service. He is always focused on the better where good enough is not good enough. He has lived out the Ignatian spirit of cura personalis, care for the whole person, by recognizing the dignity inherent in every person as a created child of God. Presented this, the 15th day of April, 2014. Congratulations.
Bob.
I think Bob must be the longest serving dean in Marquette, isn't that true?
By far.
So it was a good choice, right? I remember quite a few years ago meeting Janet on the sidewalk in Marquette and her telling me how proud she was to be a member of the College of Professional Studies student and how she looked forward to all the work and experiences, learning that she was going to have in that college. And she was very proud of being a member of the college and fulfilling her dream of earning a degree, a bachelor's degree, and earning it from Marquette. I'd like to say a few things, not about me, but about Janet. I knew her for many years. I wouldn't say we were good friends, but I knew her fairly well. To assist me in providing some comments, I've asked some people who knew her even better than I did. First, I turned to her sister, who works at the Wisconsin office of the Society of Jesus, and this is what she had to say. Family was very important to Janet. Weekends were devoted to her grandson's hockey games, Little League soccer, baseball, or football. Her home and her heart were open at all times for a quick chat, a glass of lemonade, job advice, or a place to stay. A mentor, a boost, a hug. She provided you with exactly what you needed before you knew you needed it. She hosted backyard weddings, bridal and baby showers, birthday parties, and family holidays. She loved Marquette. Monday brought another day at the office, but those she encouraged surely didn't see those daily tasks as meetings with her. They were a chance to catch up with a friend. She didn't merely have acquaintances, she took time and energy to build genuine relationships with everyone she met. Janet gave 110% to everything she did. From events coordinated when she began her Marquette career in special events to the projects she was responsible for in the office of the architect. She was proud, and rightly so, of the degree she earned from the College of Professional Studies. The second person that I asked for information was Tom Gainey, who is a university architect and I think currently a vice president for planning, or something like that. That would do it. Janet's journey at Marquette included time as director of special events, fundraising for university advancement, work for public affairs, and finally managing projects for the university architect. The transition to project management was a bit rough at first as Janet struggled to adjust to the new work and tried to learn new technical skills. After an adjustment period, she found her stride and steadily improved her work and advanced from assistant project manager to project manager. Janet always understood that we in administration are here to serve the students and faculty. She was gracious, humble, curious, eager to please, stubborn that Marquette should maintain a proper image, and most important, she was always a kind, caring, and supportive person. And finally, I asked my class for some material. It appears he also shared this with the dean, so some of it will be repetitive. The award was conceived to be for someone who exemplified the Ignatian ideals of the Majas, being a person for others, someone who did not consider good enough to be good enough. Janet exemplified these ideals, and so we named the award in her honor. She started as a secretary at Marquette and rose to associate vice president. She was an absolutely brilliant trainer, demanding the best of those who worked for her. Her aesthetic sense was beyond compare. The 5th floor was redone by her, that is, of this building. the Jesuit residence, public spaces, the child care center, the signage on campus were all her doing. She served on the State Fair Park Youth Board, was instrumental in fundraising and the opening of the Sharon Wilson Center for the Performing Arts, and served her community at Wauwatosa in a variety of ways. She raised 2 boys and dedicated herself to her 9 grandchildren. And finally, a personal experience. I worked with Janet on a number of projects and always enjoyed my time with her. She was very conscientious, talented, and always looking out for both the welfare of our students and the core ideals and promises of the university. One experience stands out for me. I was new to academic administration in the late 80s and was given a special assignment for commencement. I was to serve as host to our commencement speaker and honorary degree recipient. Janet choreographed commencement, so I had a good deal of contact with her that spring. Our speaker was not able to come to Milwaukee from Chicago the night before commencement, as we had requested, but he promised to meet me at O'Hara Hall, which was the old administration building, by 8:30 on commencement day. At 9 o'clock, he'd still not arrived. I called Janet in somewhat of a panic, and she calmed me down and assured me that all would be okay. At 9:20, he still had not arrived. I talked with Janet once again. She informed me that she had talked with the president, and he had decided that I would give the commencement address. For our speaker. She said with a subdued giggle that after all, you are both sociologists, and that I do not think many will even notice the substitution. I did not argue, but knew that the substitution would be noticed, since his speech began something like this. Marquette graduates, faculty, staff, and family members, I want to share some thoughts with you about urban poverty, joblessness, and family life from the perspective of a sociologist and an African American. Turns out he was delayed by a traffic accident on the interstate, but did finally arrive at 9:30. We rushed to commencement and joined the back of the line before the presidential party ascended the stage. Janet and I shared a good laugh at this later, with her telling me, quote, I did wonder how you would pull this off, but I knew that somehow you would do it. We had survived a potentially embarrassing experience together, and we became friends thereafter. Thanks so much for the award. I had great admiration for Janet. I'm glad her son is here. Did I leave out anything?
No, you didn't.
Thanks so much.